Well, I'm delighted to say I have finally arrived in the promised land. However, it was a very hard shift. So come into my bothy room and I will tell you the tale. They say moving house is one of the most stressful situations that we can experience. I have moved home 4 times in the past and also gone through a divorce, but none of these situations were as stressful as this move. Perhaps age played a great part in this, but there were other issues that built up my stress levels. I first viewed the house at the start of February and submitted my offer. It was verbally agreed shortly after, and I had an entry date for the end of March. Then all went silent. No written agreement arrived with my solicitor. The longer the silence, the more stressed I became. I did have good news on one side. My city house was agreed to be sold and the new owners were to move in the week after I moved into my new home. I was in a total panic the week before I was due to move. Still no written agreement. I asked my solicitor what was going on, and she told me it was difficult getting information as there were 3 different parties involved in the sale of a house. The husband, his divorced wife who declared bankruptcy, and a trustee who took on her debt. However, my solicitor assured me the parties all wanted to sell, and some information was now forthcoming. The day before I was due to move in, my solicitor then called to say there were some issues with the missives. Nowadays it's normal to have a guarantee for up to a week that everything should be in working order. This includes the oil-fired central heating, the solar panels on the roof, the cooker, fridge and freezer, etc. The party selling the house said that because the house had been empty for a year, they were selling it sold as seen, and were not prepared to give guarantees. This bothered my solicitor. However, as the house was only 6 years old and I had seen the building, had a 10-year warranty, had planning permission and completion certificates, I convinced my solicitor that I was happy to buy it sold as seen. I didn't want to lose the purchase as in my opinion I was buying the house at a very good price. Needless to say, when I moved in, I discovered the oil-fired boiler doesn't work, so I have no hot water or central heating until I get an engineer in to check it out. I'm not too concerned, as I love the wood-burning stove in my bothy room, and I wash in a bucket of water, heated with the kettle. It's a small price to pay for a lovely house in a stunning rural situation. This is a lovely view from the bothy room window. To feed the fire, I collect driftwood in my small inflatable boat when I go exploring the shores of Loch Etive, so it works out a very cheap way to keep warm. In dire need of a break from cleaning and painting the house, which was rather grubby after having been a self-catering holiday accommodation for a while, then lying empty for a year, I decided to head to Loch Etive with a small boat to collect some driftwood. It was a freezing cold morning, and the early morning mist was clearing with the sun. It felt great to be back in a boat, the first time for me this year. I lunched at Kelly's Pier, which is only a few minutes' walk from my new home. I was in no hurry to go anywhere, so circled the bay while savouring the moment, then went in a plane and headed through the Bono Narrows. All the while I was scouring the shore looking for logs for the fire. I was delighted to see there was plenty broken branches lying at the water's edge, so landed to collect some. Most were large and heavy, so I decided to wait until I had a saw with me to cut them into more manageable sizes. After all, this was just an exploratory run. So I jumped back into the boat and headed deeper into this long sea loch. The further I went, the more scenic it became, and also more remote. There are no public roads around the area, and access is either by boat or walking. Full of the joys of spring on this lovely early April day, I decided to pull over and have a walk in what I can only describe as my beautiful big backyard. I was totally alone with my thoughts and immersed in nature as I wandered along the shore, thinking how lucky I was to finally reach the promised land. I still found it hard to believe I was only a hop, skip and short boat trip from my new house. For me, this is 100 times better than living in a busy city, especially during the times of pandemics. And I'm determined to live here for the rest of my life. Pounding the city streets during times of lockdowns are now a thing of the past. Yes, undoubtedly it's been a long, hard shift reaching the promised land, but it has been very much worth the work. I now hope this is the first of many videos of the area once I settle in. Stay safe and thanks for watching.